So, Leo, have you read the One Piece chapter?
I think so.
You think so? Okay, okay. Let's see if you did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did. So, yeah, it came out super early. Came out on Thursday. Thursday, like around
Yeah, yeah.
like one around there. So yeah, TCB they were super early. So that's nice. That's nice.
Okay.
Some people are saying it's because they have competition now. I don't think so. Um, because I don't know. Maybe they got lucky with the scans this time around. I don't know. But yeah, it's nice
I
to
didn't
see.
even know that they had competition.
Yeah, yeah. There's this new group. They just do One Piece. Um, they released the chapters on Wednesday, and was it's like terrible quality. It's not good translations. Like it's pretty bad. But sometimes competitions. Create like innovations and whatever. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because of this, TCB will improve even more. They're really really good. So I don't know. Some people
And can they even get much higher?
well they got a much higher because they dropped this on Thursday. So so yeah, they could get much higher. And I was gonna say, yeah, when I found out about this like new group, people were saying like, oh, I prefer to read the chapters early with bad translations than to wait for a TCB or whatever. I'm like, come on, I'm like,
Yeah.
you're going to ruin the experience because after because after TCB came out, I read the new guys, the new kids in the block, and and I'm like, yeah, nah, like I'm like, nah, I will
Not
never.
fan?
I'm like, I will never read them over TCB. I will never do this. Like the double page spreads, well, not even double page spread. They have them as one pagers. You know what I mean. So,
Oh, okay.
so it broke the flow, and so I'm like, yeah, nah, it's weird. The dialogue was a little bit weird, whatever. But a bunch of people were like, I rather to read the wrong your than and read One Piece early than to wait for TCB. I'm like, come on, I'm like, nah, like and I'm like, yeah, yeah, nah, and this week a bunch of people were tweeting that one it's a One Piece scene. What scene is it? I'm blanking out on the scene, but it was edited saying, "I would rather read. I will only read TCB." Like Luffy saying, "I will only read TCB," and I think it's Luffy talking to Jinbe or something, but it was edited. For TCB will be in the context, but yeah, yeah, TCB. They're the goat. So yeah, let's start the chapter. So it's One Piece chapter 1067, Punk Records. And the cover story, it says, I forgot, who are you again? Joe's versus Caesar. Now, I'm not sure who is saying, I forgot who are you again. Maybe it's Joe's and Caesar to each other. Or it could be the
Mhm.
Vince, or it could be the Vince Smoke siblings. They're like, oh, I forgot who are you again? Um, it says Joe's versus Caesar. Joe, she is top 5 in the verse. So, this is gonna be a wash. Judge,
Yeah.
Judge, he is top 5 in the burst, so like there's no competition. Now Leo, I'm not sure if
Talk
you were
about cliche.
Leo, not, I'm not. I don't think you were because yeah, you're not like deep into the One Piece community, so I don't think I ever like I don't know if you even know the reference I'm referring to. That Judge, he's top 5 in the verse. Um,
No.
no,
And
so
you're not
but
sharing screen either, so.
I'm not okay. Let me share. So, while I share the screen, let me explain. So King of Lightning, right?
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, I don't remember the full context, but I do remember that when Judge got introduced, he said something along the lines that Judge he's top 5 in the verse. I forgot why. I don't remember the context. I don't remember, but he said something along those lines. He even made merch. He made a shirt that's like Judge top 5 and a bunch of other like stuff. So ever since that, people been saying, "Oh, Judge, he is top 5 in the verse." And And I'm not even sure if King was serious because sometimes sometimes he does random he claims like these random things up when it comes to power scaling. So maybe he was serious at the time, but now it's a joke. Now it's like a joke in his community and the like One Piece community in general when it comes to YouTube. So, but yeah, Joe's top five. He's beating Caesar. Um, but yeah, cool. Also they hate each other. You know, I'm pretty sure every m- people in Mads hate each other, so it makes sense that they're going to fight. Yeah. But I will not be surprised in the next chapter they sell this. I don't know. Um. Yeah, I don't know what else is going to happen with the cover story, but it's really good so far. Yeah, it's like one of the most interesting ones so far. So yeah. All that said right here, what he said. Oh, something about film red and some Blu-ray feature that he rejected in the Blu-ray, but in theaters you could like have it like a secondary audio screening or something like that. Uh, Interesting that he rejected that feature for the Blu-ray, but uh, they're using it for the theaters. So interesting. He even says low at the end. So yeah. Um. So yeah, since you already read the chapter, we could like jump right into it and discuss.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. So it says here, most a most curious head, Bonnie. She mentions that like, oh, what do you did to your head? It looked like a light bulb, and I'm like, it does look like a light bulb. It didn't connect the last chapter. It didn't connect. I'm like, it does look like a light bulb, and I'm like, oh, that's clever because a light bulb, represents the idea or that you came up with something.
Yeah, Eureka.
Yeah, Eureka. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then he's like, I cut it off, and Bonnie's like, it's not like I'm not talking about hair, like, it's like it's not hair that you could just easily cut it off. And I love
My
this
man
panel.
gave himself a lobotomy.
Oh yeah, and he's perfectly fine afterwards. So I love this panel right here. Interesting, like how all the like the kind of like the outline of where the hand should, but and breaks the panel too. Is pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Um, the Luffy, he's just being Luffy in the background. He says, "Oh, it's his VEGAPUNK as I recall." Oh no, yeah, VEGAPUNK. He said he was like as big as a giant. Interesting. The Jinbei, he heard of VEGAPUNK and he heard that he has a huge head, but there was just rumors for him, but that was true. It was like an air balloon. I'm assuming that was Bonnie. And I love this. So he tries to say that he ate the brain fruit, right? But the devil fruit in Japanese is called the nomi nomi nomi. So so it's like, oh, it's funny. It's like, oh, okay, the no me
A
means
tongue
though.
twister.
Yeah, it's a tongue twister. No me means though fruit. And then but the brain means no me. So yeah. Although he loves his pun, I bet he's like, I can't wait to reveal this pun. He's like, he's like, oh, I can't wait to drop this one. But yeah, it's pretty funny.
They
He's
ain't
a
ready
brain.
for this one.
What he's on?
They ain't ready for this one.
Yeah, yeah. Like he's cooking. He's like, I can't wait to show them what I'm cooking. So yeah, he says he's a brainy human because he ate the brain fruit. It allows him to memorize anything that he reads, that he learns, and the his brain gets bigger the more knowledge that he reads. So, but he also mentions here at the end, there's like, he's like, is a good devil fruit for a natural born genius. I'm pretty sure a bunch of people when they read this, they're like, so he's not smart. It's just the devil fruit. But nah, he a good thing Oda clarifies immediately that now he's
Yeah, yeah.
naturally he's naturally gifted. It's just the fruit enhances. Uh, it really helps him. With his
It just gives him more memory space. It's just
yeah yeah
the fruit gave him like an SD card.
yeah. Basically, yeah, it is a SD card. Yeah. Hard drive. So yeah, and then and he says now I have the largest brain in the world and continues to grow. Luffy's like, still, did you put it somewhere? And he explains this in the next page, but the where he has his brain. But Chopper, he asks, what about medical knowledge? Like, do you have that? And he's like, yeah, of course, naturally. And Chopper, he's like, oh, kawaii this one. And he's like really happy about it. Later on, we see him more kawaii this or that, but yeah, I do like this little pose of Chopper. He's like, with the sparkles, he's like happy about that. And then Luffy, he's like, this is so funny. He's like, does that mean you're dumb now, old guy? Because you cut off your brain out. And he's like, don't write off a genius, you rascal. And then there's when he explains about the apple. That is like a antenna, and and that it connects to the punk records. You know, that's where he has his actual brain. Um, Now, I brought this up in the last video that someone in Randy Troy's live stream commented that he thinks the punk records is actually, or the whole island is actually Vegapunk's brain, and that it grew so big that it became an island. He's kind of right because it's Punk Records, but I forgot if he said the whole island or Punk Records specifically. Anyway, the dude was right, and shout out to him that he got that right. I think other people not sure because in today's live stream, people were spamming in the chat that I'm the one who came up with that theory, and I'm like I'm like yeah everyone, and then it's funny. There's one dude. He's like one dude wrote apparently I'm the only one who then came up with this theory. I'm like, same. Apparently, same here. So, whoever was the dude, shout out to you. That you thought about that. One dude even claimed that he's like, oh, I said that the moment the arc started. So I'm like, now it's hard to clarify who was the guy. But anyway, shout out to the guy. And then let's see. Well, so yeah, he explains that he could connect to his brain through brain waves with the antenna. It's so funny. He's like, you met a little girl earlier. I'm like, she's not a little girl. She's like as big as Kaido. But like I get what I see what he's saying. But she looks
The
like a little
biggest
girl.
little girl.
Yeah, she's the biggest little girl. Yeah, and yeah, in One Piece, But well, there are the kids who got gigantified, and but yeah, she's like huge, as big as Kaido. So yeah. Then he's like, oh, she called herself Vegapunk, and he explains that he cloned himself. That there are 6 clones on the island, so six the 6th path of Vegapunks. And Luffy's like, you're a ninja, ding ding. I love the like callbacks to Wano, like oh you're a ninja. Last chapter, I think it was last chapter, the Luffy's like, oh there's a guy here like Kinemon, he got stuck. I think there was another Wano reference, but I'm loving the callbacks to Wano. Um, some people will probably have some Beyond flashbacks because they didn't like the ending of Wano or Wano in general. But I'm enjoying the callbacks, the references.
Wait,
Um,
refresh my memory. Who in Wano
uh,
could do clones? I thought it was a
um,
Naruto reference.
what's his name? I forget his name. Raizo, because he's a ninja. Raizo is a ninja. He When he got introduced, he made some clones. He's like Ning Ning, and he does clones. Which it is an Naruto reference, but in One Piece, Raizo does. Every ninja could do like like these
Oh, got it.
yeah. But yeah. Yeah. Vegapunk continues that each of them is like a different personality, a different aspect of him, a facet. Um, and then if they combine together, if they come together, as you get his full personality. I'm not sure if I don't know. Like I'm not sure if he means like, oh, if we combine together like Voltron, if we combine together, we become, I go back to my old self, or does he means like get together like we're all in the same space, and then now you can see all like, all my personalities, all the
I think
different
it's the
aspects.
former.
Yeah. So former means the first thing I said, right? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes I get confused, but yeah, former. So, but he doesn't really goes into detail. He just says that if we come together, you will see my full personality. Also, he explains that once a day, right? Let's see. Yeah, he says right. Each of them connects to punk records once a day to synchronize our memories and knowledge. Since their dispositions and responsibilities are so different, the wealth of their experience is much greater. So, once a day they connect and like they drop. I guess they update the knowledge that they gain in that day. I feel like it should be once an hour. I don't know. They're constantly doing experiments.
Yeah.
I feel like they need it should be once an hour for that way they could be constantly be updated. But once a day is also good. I guess it's so funny because five of them, well six because if you include the main body, so six of them are actually doing something, but York she's just eating, so she's not like I don't know what they're going to learn with York every time she updates. I don't know. So
The
far we only
calorie intake.
yeah I guess the calories. But how many times he went to the bathroom or something, but like what the
A
like
new record.
yeah like oh new record but I don't know. So far we only see, right now in this panel she's just eating, so I do wonder if she's gonna be more relevant besides just eating. Interesting that Atlas, she's like what the like what did she like, they all learned something but she's like the only one reacting differently. I don't know. But yeah. Also, this got fixed. When she got introduced, it was said that she's the sixth, but no, she's actually the fifth. York is the sixth. So yeah. Shaka, So yeah, Shaka the logic. Lilith the evil. Edison the flare. Pythagoras the wisdom. Alice the wrath, and York the desire. If I'm correct, York in the official is greed. York the greed, or York the greedy. Lilith, I think he's Lilith the evil, yeah. Shaka, I think Shaka in the official, he's Shaka the good, not the logic. I forgot what was Edison, I forgot what was Pythagoras. And I think Alice is the same, Wrath in the official. So yeah, different, I guess, different translations for each one.
Yeah.
But for the most,
At the end of the day, it's the same shit.
yeah. At the end of the day, it's the same thing. Yeah. Luffy, he's confused, of course, and Jinbei, he's like Lucy. With when we saw Lucy, he's like, yeah, you're telling me. You remember Lucy? He's like, you're telling me they're all the same people, or they're all connected. Over Jinbei, he's like the same thing. Jinbei, he's like, yeah, I'm lost. You're telling me you share the same brain, whatever. I find it difficult to wrap my head around that. And for Luffy, he's also confused. And then yeah, he's basically saying he explains it like it's like a big giant library that they all connect to, and they share their knowledge and all that. Um, and he says, if only I could let everyone in the world connect to my brain, all humanity will have access to my knowledge. Then, if the population of the world went on to update punk records themselves, I'd create a sea of information that surpass what my brain can accomplish alone. Humanity will share one mind. And Chopper, he's like, extra kawaii desune right here. He's like, so I'll be able to study medicine from all over the world naturally. And yeah, it's so funny because not sure if he knows. And then Chopper, he just flies off into the distance. He's like, woo, weepee. So funny because he has the flying boots. So I love
Yeah.
throughout the chapter, there's like a bunch of background gags. That's like one of them. It's pretty funny. Then Jinbei basically he describes Twitter. Basically, he's like, but if you let everyone share their conflicting ideologies, won't that bias lead to trouble? Twitter, basically. The Vegapunk is like, you sure are a sharp one. I got to see. Well, science will never progress if you spend all day worrying about stuff like that. Pew 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 pew. That was a funny laugh. We get his laugh now. It's like pew 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 pew. Sounds like I'm picturing like a laser gun. Pew 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 pew. That's what I'm picturing. Um. So basically, yeah, Vegapunk he wants to create the web, the internet, the World Wide Web. That's like his dream. That's his goal. Uh, it was really interesting, because One Piece, they have technology. They're pretty advanced to create cyborgs and robots and all that, but they're not like advanced enough to have like internet. Um, which I think that's part of the world government. They're trying to. I think like now that we know 900 years ago they had crazy technology. I think it's because the world government, they suppress
Yeah,
whatever we could
they
create,
keep
they could create in their
they
world.
keep meddling and shit.
Yeah, yeah. So if it wasn't for that, I think they will been have the internet because they have the Dendemushis. They managed to figure out a way to use them for cell phones, cameras, a radio, and a bunch of other stuff. For print, I remember, like I remember that when Luffy got his first bounty. I remember we see a Dendemushi printing his wanted poster. So, so yeah, they could do a bunch of stuff with Dendemushis, and so I think they could implement somehow internet with Dendemushis. So yeah. Um, there's that. Let's see. Before I continue, I think that's all. And then Bonnie yells, he's like, that's your problem, Vegapunk. You shrug off sacrifices in the name of progress. That's why Dad's been turned to a heartless weapon. Now, when I read this chapter for the first time, I'm like, oh, it makes sense that Vegapunk has that viewpoint because he worked with Mads, which everyone there they're evil. Queen, Judge, Caesar. They're all pretty evil people. Am I missing someone? No, right? Judge, Queen, Caesar, Vegapunk. Yeah, I think that's the whole group of Mads. So, yeah, it makes sense that he thinks like that, and of course Bonnie she's angry because of what happened to Kuma. There's also a funny moment. She takes out the beam. Vegapunk's like, oh no, it's defective. Don't use it. And she's like, nah, I already tested it out earlier. I know it works. And like Jinbei, I think is Jinbei. Like, don't be hasty, Bonnie. Killing him will make you a lot of enemies. And they're like, hit the switch off, Bonnie. And then that beam attracts a ludicrous numbers of bugs. And then when a bunch of bugs, a bunch of bugs shows up, and it's a glorified bug sapper because it could cut things. So it's very powerful, but it's like a bug zapper. It attracts insects and it kills them. And now Bonnie she doesn't like insects. It's pretty funny scene right here.
I,
Um,
I really love this scene, honestly.
yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, yeah. Um, and Luffy he's like, check out this Bonnie. I got a giant stag beetle. Which yeah, Luffy throughout the series, we see him that he likes insects. It's I don't know why it's like a Japanese thing. Like I don't know, Japanese kids, they grow up with like collecting bugs and all that. That's why we got Pokemon because the creator of
Yeah,
Pokemon, yeah, the creator of Pokemon, he loves collecting bugs. So,
and
so yeah, I
and
will,
fighting with them.
yeah, yeah. Oh, JoJo, that's
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's where the inspiration comes from.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, if you don't know about JoJo and you hearing fighting bugs and whatever, like yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
go read your Gonian.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but first read all the other parts. Don't skip. Don't be a part skipper. But yeah, that's like so random now. I think like it was a whole arc of them, you know, beetles fighting with each other. But yeah, it's a good arc though. And then so yeah, Luffy's like, oh look a giant stag beetle. Chopper, he's like, oh no, like, this is not the time, Luffy. She fainted because of the insects. Um, when I read this, I'm like, Oda, come on, don't make like this is Oda's way for that way Bonnie will not ask questions, and that way we will not learn about Kuma. I'm like, but still, it's a funny gag. It's still a funny gag, but we still learn. I guess eventually we'll get learned to more. We will learn more about Kuma, but yeah. Vegapunk he says he's like, oh that makes sense. So he does knows. Remember last last chapter we joked around. Does he knows? So he does knows. Well, he managed to figure out eventually. Why Bonnie he wants him dead. Of course, Bonnie wants to be dead. It's ironic that one of my many failures saved me, and this is also a funny moment. So he's like, speaking of which, you guys were recently in Wano, correct? And he asked about was there another dragon besides Kaido? And Luffy's like, oh, you talk about Momo, and he's like, oh, he ate the defected Devil Fruit I left in Punk Hazard. Um, and Luffy's like, what do you mean defected? And Vegapunk, he's playing, said it took him 20 years to make this, 20 years of research. of Kaido's Lineage factor. It costs a lot of resources and a lot of money. Um, he says he couldn't, but I couldn't get it quite right. And Luffy he explains that, oh no, Momo, he could do everything that Kaido could do. He's super strong. That's Cap. Um, like like that's Cap Luffy.
I
Um,
mean, he took a drop kick from his sister.
uh, uh,
All
uh,
fine and dandy.
okay, that's true. That he did took that drop kick. All fine and dandy. So, and yeah, yeah.
And
Actually, not.
his gag now is, oh, that didn't hurt.
Yeah, yeah. That is his gag now. Yeah, that didn't hurt. Which either okay, it could be two things. Either it actually did not hurt, or it did hurt, and he's pretending that it didn't hurt. It could be
Yeah.
either. It could be either thing, but no. But I think it's the first thing that it actually doesn't hurt him because I think they do mention that he's tougher now. That he inherited Odin's like toughness, not
Resilience.
yeah resilience. Yeah, yeah. Um, so Luffy's kind of right, but like fighting wise, he could take a hit, but
No,
fighting.
not as strong as Kaido.
Oh yeah, oh definitely, oh
Kaido.
definitely. Yeah, yeah. But it's so funny that Luffy's like, oh, he's super strong. I'm like, Cap, but still, yeah. I see where Luffy's coming from. He says he's the guardian deity of Wano now, which that was Yamato's. Yeah, my dogs are barking. Sorry if you could hear that, but that was Yamato's like the fruit title, the guardian deity of Wano. So I guess maybe Luffy doesn't know, but we still don't know what that even means, But yeah, Luffy's like he's like impressed that Vegapunk managed to create like a whole devil fruit, based after Kaido. And here's the big reveal why it's a failure. And he's like, and his color pink, and he's like drat, he's like drats. You see, another monumental failure, and he just hits himself, his head on the floor. Luffy's like, what's wrong with that? And Jinbei, I get it. He's a genius and a perfectionist. Um, so Randy, other people in the community were saying this, but I think Randy Troy was like one of the first ones who said this. That what if, what if it's a failure just because it's pink? He said that jokingly, but like he mentioned that he said that jokingly because he thought it could have been an option, and turns out he was right. So yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I remember like a bunch of people were having theories like, oh, why is it a failure? But it was a simple solution. It's just pink. Yeah. So it's pretty funny. Then Luffy asked about the robot. Like, oh, did you make this robot too? And he's like, no, I did not make that. He says this is the legendary Iron Giant, which I seen the movie, Iron Giant, but I didn't knew that Vin Diesel voiced the Iron Giant. Because Randy Troy he brought it up in his live stream. He's like, oh, shout out to Vin Diesel, the voice of the Iron Giant. I'm like, what? I didn't know Vin Diesel voiced the Iron Giant. Now looking back, I'm like, oh well, his voice was pretty deep, the Iron Giant. So, I guess So yeah, and then click. But still, really good movie. And he explains it's the legendary Iron Giant that attacked the Holy Land of Mary Joel's about 200 years ago. But he says it was created 900 years ago. And they're like, what? No way. They say that he doesn't know why it was created, but he said that it ran out of power before it could cause any casualties. Either way, I'm sure the scientists of the time were absolutely flabbergasted, since advanced technology will seem totally alien to them. None of them could tell where it came from or what it was trying to do. People are assuming also it climbed the red line. So it got up there, but it didn't. It ran out of power, so it didn't cause any casualties. It seems the world government ordered its destruction, but the scientists of the time couldn't help their curiosity. That's why they hid it here to be passed down without the government's knowledge. Interesting. Jinbei, we have a little panel here, Jinbei, dot, dot, dot. And later on in this chapter, we find out that 200 years ago, the fishman, right here, 200 years ago, that's around the time the fishman rice movement started to gain ground. Which is as here, there's a reference to chapter 620. Which in that chapter, Jinbei was explaining to Nami about Arlong, why Arlong hated humans so much. And yeah, he's like, oh, 200 years ago is when fishmen were no longer classified as fish. You know, I forgot about that. I'm like, oh wow, fishmen, were classified as fish. And yeah, I'm like, so Jinbei, he's like, that's why Arlong, that's why like fresh on fishmen, the hatred towards you and all that. Like, oh yeah, you're no longer fish, but they still hate fishmen and all that. Yeah, so uh, that's like that's what happened in chapter 620, basically. Um, so yeah, that's why it's interesting that Jinbei hearing about this robot. We have a panel of him kind of reacting, I guess. So maybe he knows. Like, does he know about the robot? Or some people were saying that maybe Fisher Tiger told him about this, or he heard it from somewhere. From maybe he was part of the Neptune's royal guard, so maybe Neptune told him about this, or Fisher Tiger or someone. Or maybe there's like something that every fishman knows about, about the giant robot. It'll be interesting. So yeah. So some people are saying, oh, maybe the robot was on the theories. Maybe the robot was on the sea floor, and then the fishmen, they found them. They somehow activated the robot, and then it went up to the Grand Line, to the Red Line. I said Grand Line, so to the Red Line, and then that happened, and stuff, history, shenanigans pursue. But yeah, we don't know much about the robot. It's interesting. Also, the robot, it looks like it got impaled by its own weapon. We see right here, got impaled by its own weapon. And the first thing I thought was a syndrome from Incredibles, that the only way to injure his own robots were his own, like, the robot itself. So I'm like, oh, they're so strong that you need to use their own weapons against them. That's what I think. I do wonder if there's more of these. Someone brought up during Randy's toy stream that what if each race has a giant robot? So maybe the giants have their own, and the fishmen, they have their own, and so on and so forth. Will be interesting. Maybe like that was something they had back in the day to fight against the 20 kingdoms. Maybe that's what I'm seeing. That this robot was used during the war, and maybe they're like somewhere around the world, and they're probably in the ocean floor, most of them. And then I guess once they figure out that power source, they could like use it in the final war. So that's what I think. That's what I see happening. But yeah. I guess going back to the chapter. Oh yeah. So it says here. So you're saying that robot climbed the red line, most likely. It's funny. Funny he didn't say that's just conjecture. I was expecting him to say that's just conjecture. And then Shaka explains that he created Vega Force 1 based after the design, and that he couldn't figure out everything. The thing that he couldn't figure out was the power source. In the past, they have a power source that will upend our modern ideas of what's possible. Now, some people are saying it could be what they're called the Lunarian flames. It's funny. Now since the Lunarians got recently introduced, now everything now everyone's like, oh, it could be Lunarians, because they're like the new, they're like the most recent newest race in the series. So like, oh, it could be
It's
Lunarians.
what's in right now.
Yeah. That's the thing that's in right now. So they're like, oh, it could be Lunarians. The other theory is that it could be somehow Luffy's fruit, like the Nika. Maybe the original Sun God Nika was the power source. That's like the theory. That's like the other theory. Besides that, some people are saying, "What if it's Cola?" Um, because Frankie, he's run by Cola, and they're like, "Oh, what if it's Cola?" And I don't know. It's a gag, but I don't know. I don't know if I
I
would
wouldn't
like.
put it past Ola.
Yeah, that's the thing. I will not put it past him, but it just I don't know. I don't. It's too. I think that's too goofy. Like, like nah, that's too much. That's pushing it. Like Cola really, and then you telling me Frankie, I don't know, he somehow figured it out. He somehow figured out something that Vegapunk, couldn't figure out. Like I don't know. I don't know. It's too goofy. Too much. It's too much. Another theory that I forgot to mention is that people were saying, what if Toki, Olin's wife, she sent this robot 200 years in the future, hoping that it could do something, some damage or whatever. Um, uh, I guess, yeah, I guess just a random interesting theory. I'm like, okay, I'm like, okay, sounds interesting. She sent it to the future to help, the people at that time. But if that was the case, she failed. But still something interesting to keep in mind. Uh, let's see, where was I? Going back. Oh yeah. Here Nami, she's like, it's nice to see that Luffy and the others are safe. Who is that girl? And Usopp, he's like, oh, that's Yuri Bonnie. I think it's Usopp. I don't know. And then Sanji, he's like, oh, I thought he was with a little girl. So yeah. Um, they're all day with Luffy and the rest. Luffy, he says, well, first Vegapunk says, oh no, yeah, they mentioned, and the way that Vegapunk's head works is crazy. And now we go back to Luffy and the others, and Vegapunk's like, oh, he's terrible. He feels terrible for what he did to Bonnie. Luffy's like, yeah, you shouldn't. You should, apologize. Go down to your knees and beg for forgiveness. Forgiveness. Can you imagine? Go listen to Hamilton if you haven't. Um, so, who says this? Ah, Vegapunk, yeah. You young don't like you know anything about that. He says that there's something I have to give her. Some people are theorizing could be like a key or something that could activate Kuma memories, like could bring him back basically, or a message that Kuma left for Bonnie, maybe explaining everything. Either way, it's something related to Kuma that he needs to give to Bonnie. That's like the current consensus when it comes to like, oh, what is he going to give to Bonnie? Um, Regardless, I feel like fate brought you here today, Straw Hat Luffy. Please, can you take me away from Bacon? And I find this hilarious because he's like, oh, is Vegapunk going to join the crew? It's like it feels like that. It feels
I
like
was
that.
gonna jokingly say that.
Yeah. He's like, take me with you. Um, take me out to sea with you. Um, it's funny in this chapter we get to hear his dream. So he does has a dream. He's asking to
No
leave.
flashback yet, though.
No flashback. That's true. No flashback yet. Um, so but we gotta wait and see. We gotta wait and see. It's so funny. So when Randy Troy, he also made the joke. He's like, is he joining the crew, Vegapunk for Nakama? And then he started thinking about it. He's like, it kind of makes sense, Vegapunk for Nakama for this final portion of the series. Maybe he's. I think okay. I do think Vegapunk is leaving with them. I just don't think it's the main guy. I think it's gonna be either
Yeah.
Lilith or Shaka. I hope it's either Lilith or Shaka because I don't want Pythagoras. I don't want Edison. I will be fine with York, but my preferred options is either Lilith or Shaka or Vegapunk himself. And again, I will
Oh,
not.
I also see Atlas.
I completely forgot about Atlas. I completely forgot about Atlas. Um, but she's used though for the ship. Like, like if she has a way to shrink herself with them, okay, fine. But if not, then I don't see Atlas going. Um,
Don't make it work.
yeah, I guess it could somehow make it work. So yeah, I just don't want I just don't want Pythagoras or Edison. Even though Edison will be funny because of his accent, I just
Yeah.
I don't know. Those two are my least favorite. So
Dang.
yeah, like I don't know, like if it wasn't for the accent, I don't think I don't think there will be anything interesting about like Edison, for example. And Pythagoras, he is I don't know. He just doesn't look cool. Yeah, I don't know. He really doesn't look cool. Apparently, someone found the reference, like the inspiration for Pythagoras, and he's like based after this old Japanese like live action show. Um, I forgot the name of the show, but Pythagoras looks exactly like the robot in that show. Like exactly same look, same eyes, same everything. So I'm like, so I will not be surprised if Pythagoras sees red because the robot is red. So I will not be surprised if Pythagoras sees also like red. So yeah. Let's see what else. What else? So yeah, he's like he's like basically asking to join the crew. Um. So am I missing anything else about this? Joining the crew. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But yeah, I think we'll be. Oh yeah, now I remember the thing. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Randy Troy. He's like, thank you. He's like, oh, it makes sense. You know, like it's making sense. You know, him to join the crew, or one of the punks to join the crew. And then someone commented like, oh, but we were saying that about Yamato. You know, and Randy Troy. He's like, this is different though. Like, VEGAPUNK. He's actually relevant for the story. You know, like, it's like VEGAPUNK actually has a purpose or something like that. Yamato didn't, you know. And you know, I'm like, oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. He said something like something along those lines, something like that. And I'm like, yeah, he right, he right. But eventually Yamato will join. Eventually, maybe after Wano if they go to Wano next, or maybe
Maybe in the final, maybe in the final arc.
yeah, maybe like in the actual final arc, you know, in the final, like in the final war or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah. And then now we cut to the CP agents. They blew up. They blew up Chopper's cousin. They blew up the reindeer. Um, yeah, yeah. And they're like, someone says that they're poorly trained. The pets. Sumi, Lucy, or Kaku. You know, that sounds something that Lucy or Kaku will say. And you know, they're requesting to dock. For the port. And then we have cool panel right here of Lucy. What's his name? Hattori.
Kaku.
No, I was thinking the bird Hattori. Yeah, Kaku, Hattori, and Stussy, and we see Seraph and Kuma in the background. Now, what do you think about their mask? What do you think?
I mean, I didn't recognize Kaku because of the beard. I'm like, who the hell has a beard in Cypher Paul? I'm like, but then I saw the nose. I'm like, that's Kaku.
Yeah, you saw
That
the
has to be Kaku.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Lucci and the birds, cool.
Cool, simple, you know,
Um,
straightforward. You know, nothing
yeah.
fancy. Mm-hmm.
Uh, the chicks. I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the mask covers her whole head. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it does. It
'Cause
does. The only
it
part
does, yeah.
is the mouth. Is the
Okay,
mouth.
okay, it looks waggly.
Yeah. I think honestly, I'm digging Kaku's. Randy Troy, he hates it. He's like, nah. He's like, nah. No one else has commented on you know. So, but I'm digging Kaku's though. Like, I like it. It's weird. It's weird, but I like it. You know, like I wasn't not expecting the beard. Like I saw this, I'm like, what's with the beard? I don't know, I kind of like it. Also, it kind of looks like a it kind of looks like a Day of the Dead mask. It's not really, but I could see like the skeleton vibe.
The resemblance.
The resemblance. If I'm correct, don't quote me on this, but during the Water 7, Kaku had a skeleton mask. That was his mask that he wore,
Ooh.
like a skull mask. If I'm correct, it was like a big, was a big giant goofy skull. That was like his mask. So you know, it's interesting. He keeps he still has like the motif of like the skeleton thing. Stussy kind of looks like a cat. It's like a, it kind of looks like a bird, an owl, or a cat. Yeah, it's like a bunch of different things, but interesting. And again, Lucy and Hattori, simple. Just straight to the point. Apparently, I don't remember this, but apparently Lucy, he wore this exact mask during War 7 when he went to meet Frankie to talk about the blueprints or whatever. Um, so yeah, I don't remember that, but apparently he wore that. Now it's so funny because Robin mentioned in this Rosa that their CP, their CP0 or agents, but the one who wears the mask are the strongest. And Hattori, he's obviously wearing a mask, the bird. So some people are thinking, does the bird actually knows how to fight? Like, is the bird a little freezer, or is the bird a guy or something that ate the pigeon fruit? Um, so some people are saying that Hattori, he's actually strong, and we just haven't seen Hattori fight. I don't know. I think it's just a funny little thing that All is doing with the bird. Because there's no reason for Hattori to wear the coat and the tie and the hat and the mask,
Yeah.
but Oda, I guess Oda, he just loves, he's like, he thinks it's funny, which is pretty funny. And yeah, also it's so interesting that Luxi, he actually, I guess he actually cares for Hattori. Like we haven't seen Luxi like lash out towards Hattori and or like abandon Hattori or anything. So it's like I don't know. I guess something interesting about like his personality, something hidden in his personality. And then Seraphim Kuma, he's right there in the background. Which I remember when we saw the Seraphim for the first time, Kuma. He had the wrong skin color, hair color, and wing color, I think. So that got fixed. Actually, people were making theories about it, like, oh, why does Seraphim Kuma has a different hair color than all the other Seraphims, and it's just an error, which is a error that I guess Oda or whoever forgot the color to give it the proper colors. And then Pythagoras, he mentions that there's a governance shift right there requesting the dock, and that would be bad. It will be bad that they find out that they're harboring pirates. They're like, oh, well, the CP01's with us, and why did they bring Rob Lucy? Lilith, she's like, let's give the pirates away, the riffraff, and like Lucy, he's an assassin. It's so interesting. Lilith, she's the evil, but she's like, but I'm not that evil. I'm not a pirate, like like there's different levels to evil, I guess, for Lilith. But so far we haven't seen her done anything like evil, which actually some people are theorizing Lilith could betray the Straw Hats, because so far all the other punks, they're fine with the Straw Hats. Some people are theorizing maybe Lilith will betray the group, and she will show her true colors, her being actually evil. I don't think so. I don't know. It's a possibility because that is her name, Lilith the Evil. So it could be a possibility, but I don't know. I don't think so. They're freaking out over Lucy. Like, oh, Rob Lucy, hurry up, you'll free us. Nami, she's like, oh, that guy's still around. And then Sanji's like, oh, Robin, I will protect you, no matter what. Frankie doesn't say anything. And then Shaka, he's like, tell them to lead the Seraphim, he's rejecting for them to dock. But he's like, but they're probably not going to like that, so prepare for battle, basically. And then we cut to the Kamabaka Queendom. And then they're like, Dragon-san, Kuma-san's acting weird. Kuma-san, wait, we're trying to repair you. And then really cool panel. I really like this panel of Kuma, looming over them with the wires and all that coming out. They're Kuma, he's like acting up, he's acting weird. And they don't know what's going on. Someone asks, is he being controlled by the Marines still? And then Kuma runs away. He trips. While they're all yelling, Kuma, don't leave. You're not in a good state for leaving. Talk to us. What's happening? What's going on? Yeah. They're like confused. Kuma, he's trying to run. He keeps falling. He keeps falling. He can't get up. And then and then Dragon, he's like, oh, talk to us, Kuma. Where do you want to go so bad? And then Evil Coffee's like, stay with us. We're not done fighting. The Revolutionary Army is just getting started. And then a mad dash to where and break next week. So and the coloring got out there. Now we got Josh did this one really nice. I really like this. I really like this one. The one with Caesar and Judge, and Gracia, she did the this panel right here, which it's a cool panel. I like the panel. So yeah. Um, Now I think everyone's like saying, well, mostly everyone are saying that what if the reason why Kuma he's like acting like this is because right here.
Cypherpole?
What you said?
I thought. Oh, keep going.
Okay. So because Shaka he says yeah, let's prepare for battle, right? And maybe that somehow activated Kuma for he could go to Aken and prepare for battle. That could be a possibility. Another possibility could be he knows what's happening to Bonnie. Like he knows Bonnie's in danger, so he wants to protect Bonnie. That's the other possibility. Um, the other possibility is that he knows Vegapunk is in danger, so he's like, I need to protect Vegapunk. Or it could be all. It could be a combination of everything. Like
Yeah, yeah.
protect Bonnie, protect Vegapunk, prepare for battle. It could be like a combination of all three. Um, so now, what do you say? You were saying something.
Yeah, I thought it was because it sensed the danger
Yeah.
that Cypherpole presented upon
Mm-hmm.
entering Egghead.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that's my main idea.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, like a mad dash to where I think it's obviously Egghead. If it's somewhere else, then that's a curveball on all those parts. But I think the obvious option is Egghead. Um, I cannot see anything else really. Um, Now, shout out to Mr. Morris. That I don't watch his live streams, but yesterday I was like, you know what? Let me click on the live stream. And then I click on it randomly. And I'm like, he's talking. he's like saying, oh, Dragon used to be a cool character. Every time we saw Dragon, he was cool, stoic, serious. And now every time we see him, he's sweating. He's like shocked. He has a soy face every now and then, a soy Jack face. like 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 he's no longer cool. Like the. And I'm like preach. Like I agree. I agree with with more. It's like ever since oh man, what was it? Ever since it's weird. It's like ever since he went to Kamabaka, ever since he made that his home base, he's always been sweating, paranoid about what's happening. Like ever since he moved to Kamabaka, he's been like that. Which that's why like it's so funny though. Um, and that's why my opinion on Dragon has went down throughout the years. That's why I don't think he's that guy anymore. He still could be that guy. He still could be that guy. But just everything that I seen of him, doesn't convince me that he's that guy. Um, so so yeah, like it's funny. The first time I watched Mr. Moore stream and he's talking about something that I agree with, and so I'm like, yeah. So yeah, shout out to Moore. He said that. Let's see what else. Actually, this chapter was actually pretty straightforward. I think throughout the whole chapter we discussed quite a bit, like about theories and all that. So let's see. I'm like skimming through to see. I don't know if there's anything else we could bring up. This is something interesting that Randy Troy brought up in his stream. Do you think Stussy? Do you think Stussy has a devil fruit? I guess where you could theorize that.
I mean, I thought it was a requirement for Cypherpole to have the fruit.
No, I don't think it's not a requirement because
Because I do remember the back in his lobby, it isn't Stussy, it was the other chick, Khalifa,
yeah,
something like that.
Khalifa, yeah,
And Bluno, no, it wasn't Bluno, Kaku. They
Kaku,
both
yeah,
got the dope fruits right then and there.
yeah. No,
So
but it's not. it's not a requirement because what's this guy name? There's Fukuro. He didn't have the fruit. I forgot the Kumadori, something like that. He also didn't have fruit. I think that's about it. But most of them did have fruits. Most of them did have fruits. And if I'm correct, Kaku and Khalifa, they got those fruits as a as a reward for for the mission. If I'm correct, not sure, but yeah. Stussy on the other hand, we don't know if he has a fruit. We haven't seen her use anything. You know, we only seen her use the basic attacks. Shigan and Soru probably. The basic stuff. Um, so Randy Tur brought up. He didn't say this for her specifically, but he said he would like to see a penguin sewing. I'm like, oh, that would be nice. I don't know. I think that would be,
Oh yeah,
yeah, that would be interesting. A
that'd be
penguin sewing.
cool.
And if the person is like an assassin, like I'm like, oh, that would be interesting. Maneuvering. And I don't know. I think it would be cool. Um,
Yeah, it would be
also,
cool,
yeah, yeah.
but they wouldn't be able to swim. Now I think about
Oh yeah, yeah. That would be
it.
a huge,
What's
yeah.
the main thing a
Oh,
penguin could do?
penguins.
They would be unable to do it.
Yeah, that's so funny. But still, yeah, it still will be interesting. Um, One of my go-to zone ideas is platypus. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, yeah. Especially if the user is a guy, because I think it's only the males that have the poison spur, if I'm correct. Like the poison thing that they have on their feet. So yeah, I think that would be really cool. And since Oda, he loves to exaggerate the sizes of animals, so I'm assuming the platypus user will be like this huge, like bulky platypus, and so yeah, I think that would be cool. Stussy, I think some people mentioned that since the mask kind of looks like an owl or like a bird, or it would be cool, like a owl bird type Dofru. Or someone said what is a cat. I forgot what big cat, but like not leopard because that's sushi.
Mountain lion.
A cougar. Because a mountain lion would be nice too. A cougar. Someone said cougar because she's her like hidden job, like her secret job is the queen of the pleasure district. That's like her like fake job for she could get information for the world government. So I'm like, oh, cougar. Cougar would be funny. But mountain lion, that would be cool too. So yeah. Um, so someone said that not for this. Was it for this chapter? I forgot what chapter it was. JD Legend. He was like coming up with seraphim ideas, and he said, "Oh, we cool. A seraphim Lucy, and the seraphim when it transforms, it looks like a snow leopard. You know, like the opposite of the color the Lucy. I'm like, yeah, that would be really nice. A snow leopard seraphim Lucy. That would look really nice with the flames, with the Lunarian flames and the wings. Yeah, that would be really cool. People should start making fan art or like seraphim versions of One Piece characters. And start giving them like those fruits that will like make the character even cooler. People should start doing that. That would be really nice to see. So since we're here on this page of the CP agents, who is going to fight who? Who's going to fight who?
Like, can you repeat that last part? My internet went off a bit.
Okay. So, um, who do you think is going to fight who? The CP agents
Oh,
like.
and when they, oh well, I'm hoping for the Lucci versus Luffy rematch.
Yeah, that would be nice. But that would be really nice, but it's gonna be washed though. You know, like Luffy going he could go gear fourth and Lucy is not going to know what's going to hit him. You know,
I I
uh,
mean, I
like
mean they had the agent back in Wano.
mhm.
The g- so the and the Wonder Bros are at Gear 5, so it's not like He
not not like
isn't aware, man.
like he's gonna be aware. He knows that he knows that Luffy has it. I mean that Luffy's gonna be so fast. It's like it's not gonna matter. You know.
Like, but do you honestly think he's still Water 7 level? Like I'm pretty sure.
Rob Lucci's honestly stronger. Like honestly, I have him in my top 30. Like he's
Yeah,
honestly
same thing.
like he's like I see him as top 30 material, but he's not he's not top 5, which that's where I think Luffy is at now. So
Yeah, yeah.
so
But I
it's
don't
like
think.
it's
But I
a
don't
huge
think
gap.
it would be smart of Lucci. I don't think it would be smart of Lucci to do a prolonged fight with Luffy. Like
Oh yeah,
what
of
I
course,
think of
yeah.
what I think he's gonna do is like
Uh-huh.
do some shenanigan, like some like knock Luffy out, like hit him in a battle, like in order or whatever, and knock him out and avoid fighting Luffy altogether. Cause I know for a fact Luffy's gonna beat Lucci.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
unless
yeah.
like unless Lucci he trained 24/7 for 2 years straight.
Yeah, unless Lucy became that guy, which he was that guy back in the day, but now he's like he's still that guy. Like yeah, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. Again, like I've been mentioning throughout like the videos, I would love to see Sanji versus Lucy, which they kind of tease that in Stampede. That's like a brief moment. That I'm like, oh, that would be nice. That would be nice to see in the canon. So there's that. Um, since Zoro, like they're going to meet up with Zoro first, so Zoro versus Lucy, I see that happening too. Brook against Kaku or Stussy, that'll be nice. And then if Caribou is still around, Caribou will get the other guy. You know, Caribou will help out. That will be funny. Um, like like I don't know. That's a possibility. That's like a possibility that could happen. And if Hattori is that guy, then so Hattori will fight as well. Um, but something that Randy Troy brought up that I haven't thought about is that other Marines could show up. You know, because like CP, it's just 3 people. There's also the Seraphim. I forgot. And if Hattori could actually fight, then so 5 people. But it's not that many people. Also, they don't know the Straw Hats are there. But I think once they find out that the Straw Hats are here, they're probably going to send 1 or 2 admirals and a bunch of other Marines like Smoker. Smoker, he's nearby. They could send Smoker. Helmeppo. They could send the Marines that are nearby to the island to fight against the Straw Hats. Yeah, I think that will make I think that will make the arc even more interesting. If some admirals show up or 2. Probably Kizaru, that would be nice. Kizaru or in Fujitora or Green Bull maybe to show Oda to show off Green Bull to show him more in the positive light maybe. Yeah. Or who else? No, yeah. This I mentioned all the Admirals. Yeah. Like I knew he's not going to show up. He's a Fleet Admiral, so he has other stuff to deal with. But yeah, that'll be interesting. Sentomaru, not sure. Do you remember Sentomaru, Leo?
No, I do not.
He's the sumo guy. Got introduced as
Oh, the one with the
Saboli.
axe.
Yeah. So Sentomaru, he's a Marine, yeah, but his official title is Vegapunk's bodyguard. So maybe Sentomaru he's somewhere in the island, so we will see him again. Um, which I don't know, that's interesting because I remember back in the day, people were theorizing that Kizaru was Vegapunk because Sentomaru was in Saboli, Kizaru was in Saboli, so like, oh, so that means Kizaru is Vegapunk. They're like trying to figure out who was Vegapunk back in the day, and but that is interesting. Why was Sentomaru in Saboli if he's Vegapunk's bodyguard, personal bodyguard? That's like one of the many questions people still has to the day about Sentomaru. Like, why was he there? Like, what was Vegapunk around? I don't know. Maybe, oh, maybe actually, not think about, maybe he was, because
Kuma.
if I'm correct, that's like, yeah, one of the first time we see the pacifistas in action. So maybe Vegapunk was around to see how they perform. So I guess now think about it, I guess it makes sense. Maybe eventually we'll get to get a confirmation if that was the case. Um, let's see, what else? Water Marines. Nah, I think that's all that comes to mind. Um, so yeah, I think that will be really interesting if we get some other Marines in here. Because other than that, it's like Zoro, Sanji, Luffy by themselves could easily handle this. Like you don't need all three. That's overkill. But but yeah. Let's see. And I just remembered. Lucy mentions, that pest, referring to Bonnie. That pest keeps slipping away from us. She served her purpose. Let's just terminate her on sight. Now, that's interesting. What purpose? Why they have Bonnie? What was her purpose? To serve butter. That's her purpose. Um, Yamato's purpose is to sell merch. But um, so something that I forgot was Akainu. He said, that was before the time skip. I think he said to Bonnie that he shivered once he heard that Bonnie escaped. I'm like what? Like why? Like, okay, I forgot, but I forgot that this conversation even happened. But yeah, apparently, he's like, kind of was like, I shivered when I found out that you escaped or whatever. I'm like, okay. So Bonnie's like, I guess, she has more importance in the story than I thought. I just forgot about that conversation. Um, Apparently, she was important for something, but she already served that purpose. Now, the theory that people are saying is that maybe they were using her to keep Eam young, maybe. Or Eam and the girl stays young. That could be a possibility, or for something else referring to her Darrow fruit. But other than that, I haven't heard any other theory. That's like the only theory I heard. Also maybe something about Kuma. Yeah, I remember something about Kuma because I don't know, but yeah, that's interesting. You know, the Shiori serve her purpose, and they're like, oh, let's kill her on sight. Do you have any theory about that before I continue?
Nope.
Yeah. Like, yeah, yeah. So, what else? Vegapunk, taking me out to sea with you. I want to go to sea with you. Like I brought up, I see Lilith or Shaka joining, and I will not mind York or Atlas joining as well. Because I do think one of the punks is leaving the island with the Straw Hats. Um, I don't think the others are going to die. I just think one of the punks is leaving with the Straw Hats. Because I see this arc ending like in a rush. If this supposed to be Saboldi, like the new world version of Saboldi, I see this arc ending quick, and the Straw Hats, they had to leave quickly. And when they
Yeah.
leave, one of the punks will leave with them, and the rest, they will stay behind to handle what mess is happening. Right here. So I just remember something else. Randy Troy brought up, or I think it was either Randy Tor or someone in the chat brought up that what if Kuma starts slapping a bunch of revolutionaries to Egghead to help? And I'm like, oh, that would be really nice. Maybe Koala is sent there, and I don't know, Ivankov, or a bunch of other people, and that would be cool. And then Kuma slaps himself as well, for he could help. Um, but I don't know where's the Kamabaka Queendom. Oh, it's in the Grand Line. Nah, that'll take forever. That'll take forever to go to Aiken. So maybe not. Maybe not. Um. So, but now that was like something interesting to think about. That Kuma starts slapping them to go there to help out. There's that. And let's see what else. Talking about the robot, we already discussed that. Um, has some connections to the could be some connection to Fishman, or it's definitely connected to the Ancient Kingdom, of course. Um, but why did they climb the red line? And is it like why did they climb the red line? And it's a coincidence that around the same time the Fishman what was the
Revolution.
the Fishman rights movement started to gain ground around that time. So is that just coincidence, or is it actually all connected? The robot and the Fishman right movement. I think it's more than just a coincidence. I do think these two things are connected somehow. And you can't wait. I can't wait to find out. And then the funny moment about Momo being pink. That's pretty funny. That was pretty funny. The bug moment. That's also a funny moment too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite bonding moment ever.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very funny. It's very funny. And l- really nice drawing right here. Bonnie caked up. Really, really nice. I really like the. Besides that, it's actually a really nice composition. Yeah, I like it. And then there was something else here that I was going to. No, I don't think so. No, no. Continuing, and then yeah, the punk records, which this is gonna be the thumbnail. This moment right here, him doing the pose. I already finished drawing it. I finished coloring it. I redrew it because I hate there's something I haven't mentioned this, but or maybe I did. I don't remember, but I hate that all the his inking is very thick now. Like, not sure if you know this, but I definitely know this. That his inking is like very thick. Yeah, I don't like the thickness. Like I don't like how thick it is. I don't know why. And then I went back to old chapters. I just went to a random chapter when some I didn't saw what number I saw, and so I click on like random chapter, and that chapter was the chapter where the Grand Fleet was created. So I read the chapter and I'm like, yeah, it's way different. It's like night and day. Like the lines were not thick. It was like pretty clean. It was pretty clean lining, the inking, all that. It was very crowded though. Those panels were very crowded, but it's just the inking style is like way different. And I'm not like the biggest fan of this inking style that Oda's been using. And it started in Wano. Like if I remember correctly, this started like halfway through Wano, and I do remember people pointing it out. Like I do remember that, and at the time wasn't that severe. Like I remember it was like I remember being like it looks high. It's a different inking technique, but it looks high. But as Wano went on, and right now this panel right here with Vegapunk, I'm like, yeah, I really don't like this new like thick inky style. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. So I redo the Vegapunk. I gave him, thinner lines. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it looks way better. Because for example, look at his face area. Like because of the thick lines, it's really hard, and I don't know, it's just hard to read. You know what I mean? Because of the
Yeah,
thick, yeah. Like for example, look at the eyes, right? These are the eyes, and then these
they
are
look a
his.
bit off.
Yeah, and these are the eyebrows. But because of this part right here of his skin, it looks like he has two eyes, two set of eyes. You see what I mean? You know, like
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So if it was thinner lines, that will not happen. Like it will not look like that. And so yeah. But still, I'm going to use that as a thumbnail because the chapter's called Punk Records, and he's like, he says Punk Records, and I did like the post. My second option was the Lucy scene because I'm like, oh, that's a cool. It's just a really good panel. Him squatted up with the group, and it's easy to edit out. Edit out Lucy and just place him on the for the thumbnail. But at the end, I ended up designing with Vegapunk. So so yeah, and I think that's all because once I start talking about the thumbnail, I'm pretty much done talking about the chapter because yeah, everything before that is the Devil Fruit review, which pretty funny, pretty funny. The gag that he cannot say the name of the fruit. Um, and the punk record stuff. So and then they get updates once a day. Like on what's going on, with the research and all that. And yeah, I think that's about it. So, um, do you want to say anything else?
Uh, Pretty good chapter.
Yeah. One Piece was pretty good this week, and now if I'm correct, we're just missing 3 more chapters for the rest of the year. So
Really now.
yeah. Now, but okay. So every year, at the end of the year, we always get next year's chapter, the scanlations. It always comes out super early. So not I'm not sure if those 3 are official or that's including the unofficial. So if it's including, if those are just the official, so we 4 chapters. If that's including the unofficial, so just 3. Um, Not sure if I made sense there, but yeah. Um, so yeah, we're we're just missing like 3 or 4 chapters left for the year. Hopefully those are bangers because at the end of the year, Oda he goes crazy. Sometimes at the end of the year, Oda he drops some bangers, and so far every chapter in this arc has been bangers. So I can't wait. I can't wait. So yeah, that's the video. Leave a like if you liked it, dislike if you don't. Subscribe. Leo, are you gonna say something?
Hit the subscribe button just like the Grammy hit us with some shitty rap nominations.
Mm, I'm not aware. What they nominate? Tell me. Hit me.
So the good ones were Kendrick's Mr. Morale,
Okay.
Pusha
Yep.
T's It's Almost Dry.
Okay.
They nominated also Future's album. I haven't heard it, so I cannot give an opinion if it's good or not.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, but the other two, DJ Khaled's and Jack Harlow's albums,
Mm,
man,
yeah.
man,
Yeah, I heard.
man,
I heard that Jake, the
Jack Harlow.
Jack Harlow. I was gonna say Jake. Jack Harlow. I heard that wasn't good. That's what I
No,
heard.
it was not.
Is DJ Khaled
It's
and
unanimous.
DJ Khaled? He's never good. So, um, but only his memes. Only his memes are good. um, but
There, like sometimes he has good songs,
oh
but it
yeah,
isn't because of him. It's because of the features.
oh yeah, of course, yeah. The, yeah. Like that's true. That's true. But but yeah. Okay, okay.
But man, it's a travesty, especially in this year of our Lord and Savior 2022. Man,
Hmm.
it's been such a great year for rap, man. And they had to pick Jack Harlow and DJ Khaled. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck the Grammys.
Yeah. The only one I recognized there was the Mr. Morale. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Yeah.
So obviously that's my pick. That's like the only one I recognize. But I okay. So yeah, do that and see you.